Hi, this is Dr. Hempel again. In this short treatise, I will tell you something about prions. So prions are small protein molecules. They're not viruses, they're not bacteria, they're just proteins that can change the shape of other proteins. And that doesn't sound too bad, but if it happens in the brain of an animal or of a human, this can have fatal consequences. So this gentleman up here, this is Dr. Stanley Prusner. He's an American neurologist and biochemist. Currently, he's the director of the Institute for Neurodegenerative Diseases at the University of California, San Francisco. And he received the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1997 for the discovery of prions. And I had the honor of hearing him speak at one of my professional development conferences. So when he identified prions, nobody actually believed him. So he had a hard time getting funding because at that time, everything that caused the disease was either a virus or a bacterium, maybe a fungus, but it was definitely nothing that was smaller than a virus. And as I mentioned before, those prions are protein particles, and they make other proteins, especially in the brain, misfold, and that leads to like holes in the brains. And one of the more well-known diseases that is caused by prions is Creutzfeldt-Jakob's disease in human, CDG, or mad cow disease, so BSE, bovine spongiform encephalitis, in cattle. We also find this disease in sheep, that's called scrapie, or we find it in deer, especially in West Virginia, we call it the wasting disease in deer. So this is a disease that has a huge economic impact and a huge impact on human health because it's not treatable. To summarize, it's an infectious disease. It's caused by an infectious agent, a small protein. It actually does not self-replicate, and it uses existing polypeptides, so polypeptides are proteins, in the host to misfold. And it affects the structure of brain and neural tissues, and the outcome is usually fatal. On a personal side note, you most likely noticed that I speak with an accent. I didn't grow up in the United States. And I grew up in Europe, and I used to live in Europe in the 1980s. And the first time I wanted to donate blood in the US, I was declined because I used to live in Europe in the 1980s. So just because I lived there and I might have consumed meat, that prevents me from donating blood in the US. Otherwise, I'm a perfectly healthy person. But you see how far those consequences of this disease actually are. I mentioned some of the diseases like scrapie and BSE and Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, but there are others like the Gerstmann-Streusel-Schenker syndrome, or as I mentioned, also the chronic wasting disease in deer. I encourage you to look up this YouTube video about CDG, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease in the United States. I hope this was helpful and talk to you later. Bye.